General Jimbo checking in. We checking in with the sun today because it's a nice day, so we outside. That's right, we outside. All right, here we gonna get today. We're gonna get it where we at. All right, pain. We're talking about it. Let's jump straight into it. Everything can be broken down to a level of pleasure and pain. All right, I got the sun in my eyes, so I'm squinting. Don't worry about that. But everything in life can be broken down to a level of pleasure and pain. All right. So if you seen my video about love and hate being opposites of the same spectrum, pleasure and pain work the exact same way. The more you increase your threshold for pain, the more you increase your threshold for pleasure. All right. It's vice versa with pleasure. The more you increase your threshold for pleasure, the more you increase your threshold for pain. All right. So think about the more intense and painful workout that you have, right? You hit the gym real hard one day, you do legs, you're tearing your legs up, you're doing squats, you're doing lunges, you're doing deadlifts, you know, you might throw some power cleans in there, you're working on some explosive things, you may be working the hamstrings, the calves, you're going hard, you're putting all that work in there, you feeling those burns and you pushing through the burn, you pushing your threshold for pain. The more pain you feel, you don't stop, you build your tolerance and you keep pushing. You're increasing your threshold for pain. When you recover, when you chilling and them legs is relaxing and you get to feeling good and them endorphins get to flowing, you're going to feel more pleasure because you was able to allow yourself to feel more pain. The more you increase your threshold for pain, the more you increase your threshold for pleasure. All right? All right, now let's get it. You cannot avoid pain in life. All right? Every goal, every dream, every desire comes with a proportional amount of pain. That's just flat out. You can't avoid it. Right? There's nothing you can do to skip over the pain. You can't numb yourself to it. Nothing. Even if you numb yourself physically to it, you'll take on the emotional pain. You feel me? So there's nothing you can do to avoid pain. All right? If you do not deal with the pain of chasing your dreams, then you're gonna deal with more pain. If you don't deal with the pain up front, you're gonna deal with more pain on the back end. It's just like paying a loan, right? If you got to pay this much amount of money right now, and you say I don't want to pay that money right now, you have to pay more on the back end, right? It's just like with paying a bill. You'd be like, man, I ain't trying to pay that bill right now. You may have the money for it, but you're like, man, I don't want to spend it all right now. I'm gonna tell them people I ain't got it, and you know what I'm saying? I ain't got it right now. I'll pay it later. And when you pay it later, you gotta pay fees on top of it and everything else, and late fees, accumulation fees, I don't know, interest fees, whatever. You're gonna have to pay more than what you would have paid initially. It worked the same way with pain. If you don't take the pain that you're supposed to have to deal with your dreams up front, you're gonna deal with more pain on the back end, right? If you say, man, I don't wanna deal with all right, so let's say you in a situation where you be tight for money sometimes, but then there's sometimes you might have a little bit more money, right? And you realize, man, I be having money, but then I splurge it away, and then it's like I'm gonna be back in the hole, right? So let's say you come up with an idea to invest your money, or you come up with an idea to start a business, but you don't want to deal with the pain of starting a business right now, right? You're still working, you're still trying to figure it out. Well, you're gonna deal with more pain on the back end, right? Because you wanted to start this business so you'll have more streams of income. You wanted to have more money flowing in so you can handle your business and do the things you like to do. But since you wanted to avoid the pain of starting that business, you know, and instead of being able to just put some money into some product or into a service or whatever, and that way you'll be able, when next time you're low on money, you're like, well, you know what, I did buy all these t-shirts, let me sell these t-shirts. You know, now I'm low on money, let me try to sell some of these t-shirts. You might only sell like 2, 3, maybe 5, maybe 10, maybe 100. You may not sell a lot, but there's going to be something you can sell that you can get back, versus if you never did it in the first place and then you run out of money and then you like, damn, now I need some money, and now you catch yourself just asking people for money with nothing to give them. You just, hey man, you trying to let me borrow $60, trying to let me borrow $100, like what you just need $100? Yeah, bro, I'm fucked up right now. You got $100 I can get? My fault, man. You know what I'm saying? I try to get back to you at some point. You know, that's harder to do than to be like, hey, bro, you got $100, I'll give you 6 shirts. You know, I got these new shirts. You got $100, I'll give you 6 shirts for them. You see what I'm saying? You're gonna deal with more pain on the back end. It's gonna be more pain asking somebody for money than trying to sell somebody something. All right? So you're gonna deal with more pain on the back end if you try to avoid it. You cannot avoid the pain. And the pain up front is the easier pain. The pain on the back end is the harder pain, and it's gonna be worse. So just deal with that shit up front. All right. If you avoid the hard work early on, you will be forced to do even harder work down the road. All right. I'm gonna use that T-shirt example again. Right. Let's say let's say you wanted to start selling T-shirts, but you thought it'll be a little too hard, so you ain't want to do it, and you catch yourself asking people for money, right? Which is even harder to do. It's easier to say, "Hey, bro, you got $50? I give you 10. I give you 6 shirts, 6 of these shirts that I've been making. All right, bro, I'll throw you 50 for those shirts. You know what I'm saying? Well, I'll throw you 2 shirts, 3 shirts, however much that price, right? Versus just saying, "Hey, bro, you got $50? I really need $50 right now." Right? We already talked about that, but let's take it even deeper than that. The pain of starting a business, right? Let's be honest. It's not easy. It's hard. You gotta learn shit. You gotta learn how to market. You gotta be personable. You may be an introvert. Now you gotta break out your shell and talk to people that you don't really give a fuck about talking about. But at the end of the day, you do want to push your services to them. And the fact that you actually have services or products that you want to give to people means you deep down you really do fuck with people. You're just not good at, you know what I'm saying, bringing yourself to them in comfortable ways. But that's for another time. Let's talk about this. So you're trying to start this business and you realize it's hard, right? Well, let me tell you what's even harder. You know, it may be hard to start a business, to figure out client marketing and all that. It may be hard to figure out the demographics and figure out who to sell to, who to sell what to. That all is hard. That's very hard. You know, it's hard to just walk up to motherfuckers and ask them for money for some shit. Like, hey, here I'm selling these shirts. I want to buy some shirts. No, we don't want to sell no shirts. Get the fuck out of here. All right, cool. Right? That's hard. But you know what's even fucking harder? Being homeless. That's hard. Asking motherfuckers for money just to live. Can I get some money for what? Because I'm hungry. That's hard. Asking niggas coming home from work on the highway for money. That's hard to do. That's way harder than starting a business, because you gotta live off that shit. Now it's like, if a motherfucker, I gotta get a motherfucker to say yes just so I can eat. That's hard. That's hard to do. At first, if a motherfucker don't say yes, it's whatever. I'll go try somebody else. Now it's like, if this motherfucker don't say yes, I might not eat. That's hard to deal with. That's 10 times harder to deal with. Okay? So starting a business is easier than being homeless. So if you, next time you think about starting a business or investing, just think about, man, it's a lot easier than being homeless, asking motherfuckers for food, trying to find buildings to sleep underneath when it get cold and shit, trying to figure out how to stay alive when motherfuckers out here lurking. That's hard to do. So deal with the easier shit. Deal with the shit that's not as hard to do. Yeah, it's hard to start a business, but it's harder to ask motherfuckers for money to live while you sleeping outside trying to look for cars that are open to sleep in. Come on, man. That shit's hard to do. All right, so listen. When you have a dream or a goal or a vision, you're making a bargain with yourself. All right, you're saying, I will give you this much hard work, I will give you this much pain, and I'll give you this much sacrifice if you could return this vision to me in reality over a period of time. Don't break that contract with yourself. General Jimbo, checking out.